The town of Kramer was incorporated on September 5, 1883, and given the name Bremen. It was originally named for a German immigrant that owned a local vineyard, but the name was changed at Kramer's request to honor the city of Bremen, Germany. Bremen's economy was given a significant boost when the Chattanooga, Rome, and Columbus Railroad was built, crossing the Georgia Pacific at Bremen. This and other favorable circumstances have helped Bremen to grow from a simple railroad junction settled by German immigrants to the largest town in Haralson County, Georgia.
All aboard!
When the Chattanooga, Rome, and Carrollton Railroad intersected the Georgia Pacific Railroad in 1906, these companies built a new station in what was then the town of Kramer. Eventually, the station's name, Bremen, was applied to the whole town. Throughout the 20th century, the railroad has spurred the town's growth, sending Bremen manufactured fine suits and other clothing to the rest of the nation. Today, the Norfolk Southern Railroad Company owns the railroads running through Bremen. The city of Bremen also became a rest stop for thousands of weary travelers on their way to the coast for vacation during their long car rides. Numerous motor courts popped up all over the city's major roadways. Completed in 1926, both Highways 78 and 27 also spurred Bremen's economic growth after World War II. Highway 78 travels east to west through 5 states, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, and is 715 miles. Beginning in Charleston, South Carolina, and ending in Memphis, Tennessee, U.S. Route 27 travels north to south through 7 states, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida, and is 1,373 miles. It begins in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and ends in Miami, Florida, replacing much of what Americans knew as the Dixie Highway. Until the 1930s, many of Bremen's other roads remained unpaved, much like the Bremen-Buchanan Road paved in 1934. In 1926, 3 brothers, Warren, Robert, and Roy Sewell, chose to move Sewell Manufacturing Company from Atlanta to Bremen because 2 railroads intersected in the town and there was enough space to build large manufacturing plants. Company stores sold the Bremen manufactured men's suits across the nation, and these stores created enough demand that they needed a second plant built in Bowden in 1932 during the Great Depression. Disagreements between brothers Roy and Warren escalated over the years, and in 1945, Warren founded the Warren Sewell Clothing Company. Warren Sewell created clothing for the average man, while Roy's Sewell Manufacturing was known for making a more sophisticated and expensive suit. The businesses peaked in the mid-1980s, and hardships increased after the passage of NAFTA in 1993. Although men's suits are no longer manufactured in Bremen, the town remains the site of both companies' offices and warehouses. Hubbard Pants Company, founded in 1935 in Bremen, was at one time one of the largest manufacturers of men's and boys' pants in America. Founded by Samuel Hubbard and S.O. Higgins in 1935, with financial assistance from preeminent clothing manufacturer Warren Sewell, the company began in a 20 by 20 building with 20 employees, 1 cutting board, and 4 sewing machines. Hubbard, who was from Waco, Georgia, had worked for various pants companies for 10 years in New York and St. Louis and eventually bought out both Higgins and Sewell. In 1939, Hubbard's moved to the building now seen from City Hall across Hamilton Street, with the larger structure and supporting buildings in the Hollow, as it was known, built in the mid and late 1960s. At its height, Hubbard Pants Company's manufacturing arm, Georgia Converters, produced over 6,500 pairs of pants a day and made suits until the late 1980s while employing over 500 people. Sears Roebuck and Company began selling houses through the mail in 1908. Customers could not only buy pre-cut, ready-to-build houses from Sears, but also everything else one would need to construct a home, including the kitchen sink. Although the homes were more popular in the North and Midwest, there are a few of the homes scattered throughout the South. Since the homes would be shipped by rail, they were very popular in railroad towns. Although it is difficult to verify a Sears home without proper documentation, one can draw educated conclusions about which homes may be a Sears house, simply by comparing the designs to the Sears catalogs of the era, the location of the home near a railroad track, or by exploring old deeds. It is very possible that a few of these homes are still located in Bremen. In Bremen, there is the possibility that at least 2 houses are Sears houses. One of them, now known as the Porterhouse Antique Shop on Buchanan Street, is thought to be a Sears house. The current tenant, Sandra Crawford, rents the house from the daughter of the second owners, the Porters. Glenn and Beulah Porter were prominent educators in Bremen. Mrs. Porter taught music to many of the children in the town over the years, and her piano still sits in the same spot that it did 50 years ago. The structure is a great asset to the community, whether it is a Sears house or not. The previous owners raised their family there and were beloved educators in the community. Much of the historic architecture in Bremen has been altered beyond recognition, is in disrepair, or has been torn down. This house is a great example of an early 20th century bungalow and is a symbol of the middle class in Bremen from that time period.